shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's a nice dry start to the morning, warm by the afternoon, but we're tracking this system and the two reasons why it makes tomorrow a WRAL weather alert day coming up.
And private school vouchers. Most students using the vouchers did not come from a North Carolina public school. The findings from a new state report.
And tournament kickoff. Teams from around the world are hitting the field today for the start of the soccer tournament in Cary. We'll break down the data. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 as we kick off the newscast. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, the soccer tournament, the newscast, the
We're not being
Wednesday.
vague. That's what it's called.
Exactly. Very specific here. And the Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Right now, it's tracking our storms coming.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, so today we're mostly dry, right? By tomorrow, we've issued an alert day just because you know how things can get during the morning commute when there's rain around. Flood threat looks to be pretty low tomorrow as rain totals range between about a half an inch and an inch and a half. Overall timing looks to be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, but you'll notice how the coverage of showers will change. Morning commute tomorrow looks to be pretty soaking, as does the midday lunch hour. But as we head toward the evening tomorrow, the coverage of showers and rumbles of thunder will start to decrease. It's all because of this system that still has a 10% chance of becoming tropical off our coastline. But regardless of that, rain is becoming more likely for your Thursday. Now, in terms of today's weather, we're nice and dry out the door this morning. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s across the board. And then by this afternoon, let's see, there we go. Durham, Raleigh, Fayetteville starting out in the low to mid 60s. But by this afternoon, we'll be in the middle 80s with increasing clouds. Getting some of the latest data on Futurecast, we'll share that with you coming up throughout the program.
This morning, a man faces charges connected to a mass shooting in Catawba County, and he's expected in court. The Catawba County Sheriff's Office announced this last night. 20-year-old Garen Killian is in custody. He is charged with attempted first-degree murder. He's behind bars with no bond. Officials say more arrests are expected. One person was killed, 11 others were injured when authorities say dozens of shots were fired at a house party near Hickory Sunday morning. Some of the victims were shot. Others were injured while running away from gunfire.
New data shows most of the new students using North Carolina's general private school tuition voucher didn't come from a public school. That means they may have already attended a private school or a homeschool or came from out of state. The state's voucher program, called Opportunity Scholarships, provides up to nearly $8,000 to families to send their children to a private school. About 48,000 new students signed up this school year after state lawmakers removed income limits and let current private school students apply. A new state report shows about 14% of them attend a North Carolina public school before the year before.
Covering Wake County, starting next month, the state's largest school district will implement a new cell phone policy. The Wake County Board of Education unanimously approved the new guidelines last night to prevent distractions during instruction time. So here's what's in it. Devices must be stored in a locker, backpack, bag, or some other place out of sight. Smartwatches must be disconnected from smartphones. Only high school students can use phones for academic purposes. And it allows phones for students with health plans or disabilities. During the public comment period, a parent shared concerns that exemptions for those students wouldn't be honored.
The way forward is to invest in digital citizenship, set fair and specific boundaries, and ensure safeguards for students who need those devices to access school at all.
Policy says students would be warned for breaking the rules, followed by confiscation a second time. A full breakdown of the policy is on WRAL.com.
Now that Wake County made the decision to restrict cell phone use, what are they up against in this? WRAL's Destiny Patterson teamed up with our education insider, Emily Walkenhorst, to go inside several schools in our area to see what's working and what's not. Is one policy better than another? And what do students and teachers think about all this? We answer those questions tomorrow night on WRAL News at 6. A missing 2-year-old boy was found dead after an hours-long search in Vance County. Sky 5 shows crews searching the Carr Lake area yesterday afternoon. Family told deputies they saw the boy in the yard of the home about 20 minutes before deputies got there. After more than 3 hours of searching, authorities found the toddler's body in the lake. Sheriff Brame says this is a reminder to pay close attention to your children, especially near water.
Only on WRAL. Today, Governor Josh Stein is signing an executive order calling for a council to explore the pros and cons of legalizing cannabis in North Carolina. In an exclusive interview at the governor's mansion yesterday, Stein described the current state of cannabis products being sold in North Carolina as the Wild West. The governor says his views about legalizing THC products have evolved. He now believes they should be legal because a better regulated system will get harmful products away from children.
Because the world is different today in 2025 than it was 5 years ago. Because these vape shops are everywhere. Because there are story after story of teenagers, just like you described, buying these products, consuming these products, and having terrible physical and psychological responses.
The State Advisory Council will be made up of people with differing views on cannabis. For more on this interview, including the governor's thoughts on expunging records for low-level marijuana convictions, you can go to WRAL.com.
Soccer fans, get ready. $1 million is on the line as teams from around the world hit the field in Cary today. WRAL's Laura Levine is at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary with everything you need to know about the matches coming up, tickets, traffic issues around that venue. Laura, good morning.
Jeff, good morning. Day one of the TST kicks off today with some of the sport's biggest names coming out in full force. We know organizers are expecting more than 50,000 fans to attend the 6-day event. And here's what they can expect. 48 men's teams and 16 women's teams are vying for the $1 million top prizes. The TST will get started with the men's bracket this morning. But before the competition kicks off, TST is going above and beyond and make sure adults and kids will have the experience of a lifetime. The fans will have the chance to meet soccer stars, favorite players, and celebrities and members of the team that they're cheering for. And players we spoke with earlier this week, like Chase Rode with the Raleigh Rebels, tells us this is also an experience of a lifetime for them, too.
This tournament is the most unique in the world in that it's so unpredictable. There's so many different styles, and you got to win on a goal, so you got to have that edge and that killer instinct to put the game away.
And back out here live, this is something really important for drivers within the area. You should expect some heavy traffic in and around the Wake Med Soccer Park. There are signs everywhere alerting people of what's to come over the 6-day period. And as far as tickets are still available for this event, but very limited. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Today, we could find out what's next for Fayetteville's Crown Event Center. Right now, construction is stalled on the $145 million project. During a special meeting, commissioners will discuss where things stand after getting updates on construction and costs. Fayetteville broke ground on the new Crown Center in October. Construction was put on hold until county leaders determined this was a good economic move. The board chair says they are trying to be as transparent as possible. Commissioners plan to meet at 4 p.m. at the county courthouse. You can count on WRAL for updates.
The Boulder, Colorado community is coming together after the violent attack that injured 12 people. A prayer vigil was held yesterday for those people who were injured outside the Pearl Street Mall courthouse. That's where the attack took place. The man accused of the attack has a court hearing later this week. His family has since been detained by ICE agents. A Jewish festival in Boulder is still scheduled to happen this weekend despite that attack. Organizers are planning additional security measures to keep people safe.
Video from Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. shows the moments before Reverend William Barber was arrested during a demonstration. This video from Barber's Facebook page shows officers warning demonstrators earlier this week that they would be subject to arrest if they were to remain in the Capitol Rotunda. Barber was there with several other clergy and advocates in protest of the Trump administration's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Demonstrators at the event say the budget proposal would be harmful to Americans. Barber calling it a big, ugly, deadly budget bill.
House Republicans are revisiting investigations into the Biden family. The House Judiciary Committee is expected to interview former Hunter Biden special counsel David Weiss on Friday, marking the second time Republicans have interviewed Weiss. He's never testified publicly about his criminal probe into the president's son. That ended abruptly when Biden issued an unconditional pardon for his son. Committee Chair James Comer is also returning to his probe of former President Biden's mental fitness. Comer wants to look at the executive orders Biden signed in his last 6 months in office.
Aspiring entrepreneurs will get the chance to show off their products at Wake Tech Community College today. The Wake Tech Alumni Vendor Expo is being hosted at the Southern Wake campus on Fayetteville Road in Raleigh this afternoon. Organizers say this will get graduates of the Launch Wake County program to show off what they've learned and how they are strengthening the local business community. That event is scheduled to run from 1 to 4 today.
Straight ahead here at 4:30, changes in leadership. We are hearing from the mayor of Zebulon after a series of resignations of town leaders.
And hurricane preparedness. With hurricane season underway and a coastal low off our coast, we see how Duke Energy is getting ready this year.
Warm temperatures on the way and potential for storms tomorrow. This is a live look at Fenton in Cary. Good morning to you. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is back after the break with the latest.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:44 this morning, still keeping an eye on that system along the coast that still has very low odds of getting named, but rain becoming increasingly likely. Could be heavy during the morning commute tomorrow with localized flooding. That's why there's an alert day in place. Rip current risk is also going to be something we watch along the coast. But for the time being, a nice start to the morning. Not as dry as the past few mornings, a little more on the humid side, but a clear sky has our tower lit in blue. Your morning cup of coffee out the door. Temperatures will be in the mid 60s around 5 and 7 o'clock this morning. By 9 o'clock, we're at 70 degrees. And high temperatures today similar to yesterday, though with a touch more humidity and more clouds coming in late this afternoon. High temperatures 83 to 85 degrees. We'll show you the hour-by-hour timing for when those clouds produce some of that rain that's coming up in less than 5 minutes.
Chris, thank you. Only on WRAL, the mayor of Zebulon says he is not stepping down despite calls for the entire town board to resign. Mayor Glenn York spoke publicly for the first time since concerns over his leadership were brought up last year. This also comes as the town manager, assistant town manager, and town commissioner have all stepped down in recent weeks. WRAL's Destiny Patterson sat down with Zebulon's mayor and asked what he's doing to fix this in an interview that's only on WRAL.
This small building and the people in it have been at the center of controversy. That's where I met Zebulon Mayor as he sat in front of the camera for the first time to explain how he plans to change that. Why does Zebulon's leadership seem to be so troubled?
It's not just one issue. I would think it would probably be a culmination of things.
Mayor Glenn York points to aging staff ready for retirement and others who moved on to better opportunities. But back-to-back resignations with concerning ethical allegations eventually led to this petition. More than 400 people signed it, voicing no confidence in the town's leadership.
I can see where folks would think that, what's going on down at that town? Why can't they keep anybody there?
April 17th, it was the town manager. He cited ethical concerns with a personnel matter involving the assistant town manager. And by April 21st, the assistant town manager also resigned. The town also needs to fill several positions, including the police chief. And just last night, Commissioner Beverly Clark also resigned, agreeing with the petition against her colleagues.
In the best interest of the residents of Zebulon, I am in favor of having a whole new board and mayor.
Were you surprised?
I had no knowledge that the Commissioner Clark was going to resign until she resigned.
The petition calls for all board members to resign, including Mayor York. Is that something you considered?
I am not going to resign.
In fact, he says being a leader means sticking around through the end of his term in December.
When times get tough, I don't quit.
York says they've hired new staff, used social media to connect with people, and held town halls and surveys to open communication. Do you feel like it's working?
It's a start.
The start of rebuilding trust in a community where many feel it's been broken. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Zebulon.
Duke Energy gave us a behind-the-scenes look at how the company's preparing for the hurricane season. The Power Distribution Control Center, right here you're seeing it, is where most of that action happens. Since last year, Duke Energy made grid improvements, upgraded poles and wires, and is using technology to improve their response times. One of the biggest assets that they will rely on is called self-healing technology. It can automatically detect power outages and quickly reroute power to restore service faster or avoid the outage altogether.
This is a lot like the GPS in your car. If you're driving along and it says there's an accident up ahead, take a side road and get around it. This is what this facility does for the power grid. It looks for ways to reroute that power.
Duke Energy spokesperson Jeff Brooks says Duke Energy is constantly evolving its technologies, including finding ways to use things like drones and satellites in their responses. Always moving towards the forward and looking out for storms that are coming in.
Absolutely. Good to know that they're prepared. And of course, we appreciate all the work that they do when during storms and in the aftermath of storms, which you know we'll get. Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And we get another rain free today, but that rain down in Florida, that's going to come our way.
That's exactly the storm that we're tracking as we go through the next couple of days. And you can see that dumping some heavy rain on the Florida-Georgia line. And then that's going to ride the East Coast and bring us some rain heading, especially into tomorrow morning. 7 p.m. today, maybe a stray shower in our southern and western counties. That'll be the case heading into the overnight. 1 o'clock in the morning, some scattered light rain showers. Then by tomorrow morning during the peak commute hours, we've got some pockets of heavy rain, localized flooding. So that's why tomorrow's a WRAL weather alert day. And really at the lunch hour, you see some of that tropical moisture moving over the same areas in parts of Cumberland, Sampson, Wayne, Harnett, and Johnston counties. That's where we probably see some of the higher rain totals. Then as we fast forward to the evening commute tomorrow, that's when showers become a little less numerous, a little more scattered. So you see that there's going to be a difference in our rain totals where they're lighter to the north, but where you see that darker green and yellow, that's where we see the potential for an inch of rain or more, which again could lead to some localized flooding. That's kind of your worst case scenario. I think the worst wind gusts we see 20 to 30 miles per hour. And at this time, not expecting a tornado threat. Out the door this morning, it feels pretty good still, maybe slightly more humid. Temperatures in the mid 60s. As we head toward midday, we'll be in the upper 70s with sunshine. But by the afternoon, more clouds will start to drift in ahead of that rainy system. And high temperatures pretty uniform today across the board, 83 to 85 degrees. Then by tomorrow, we'll only be in the 70s because of that rain cooled air. But that's brief. Heading into Friday, upper 80s with a slim chance of an afternoon storm. Better chance arrives Saturday, high of 92. Then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, still the chance for scattered storms. High temperatures about 85 to 90 degrees. First weekend of June, definitely going to be looking and feeling like summer, guys.
Sure is. Thanks, Chris. Coming up at 5, a potential explosive device as deputies and emergency crews removed the object after a man reported finding it in his yard. We'll hear from officials about what they know about how it got there.
And tariff impacts. Summer's almost here, and while you're planning beach days and backyard cookouts, tariffs could sneak up as a hidden cost during all that fun. 5 Under Side's Kelly Arthur breaks down how much more you could pay for your summer staples and how to beat the price hikes.
We're taking a look now at some of the top stories in the world of entertainment.
Here's Douglas Hyde with today's Hollywood Minute.
We need your help.
We are on the lookout for a missing guitar.
We're trying to find the guitar I played in Back to the Future.
No one's seen that guitar since 1985, and we need to find it.
Great Scott! Marty McFly's guitar from the original Back to the Future seems to have been erased from existence. Gibson Guitars, which manufactured the missing 6-string, is asking for the public's help. If you know where it might be, send any tips to losttothefuture.com. Gibson's producing a documentary on the search tied to the film's 40th anniversary this year.
This isn't real.
Well, it feels real to me.
The trailer for Margot Robbie's first movie since Barbie just dropped. Co-starring Colin Farrell, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey tells the story of 2 strangers who travel into the past together and relive key moments of their lives. The romantic adventure hits the big screen in September. Taylor Swift asked her fans not to buy or stream the original versions of her first 6 albums because she didn't own the rights to them. Now that she does, Swifties are unleashed. Spotify is reporting a big surge in streams for those albums, and Speak Now leads the pack with a whopping 430% bump. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Also, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy fans will soon be able to stream the newest episodes of their favorite game shows. Sony Pictures Entertainment says both shows will be available on Hulu and Peacock starting in September. The episodes will drop on the platforms the day after they air on television, and older episodes have already been available to stream for years.
Still ahead at 5, private school vouchers. A new report shows most students that use these are not coming from public schools. We'll take a look at the report ahead of today's State Board of Education meeting.
And it is the tournament kickoff. Teams from around the world are in Cary for the start of the soccer tournament today. We'll have a preview of what we can expect from the big day today.
Plus, a scam warning. The DMV is saying that people are getting text messages demanding that people pay fees and fines. Why the DMV says you should not answer it.